All right, time for the week that was with Melanie Wilkinson joining us here in studio. Melanie, how's it going?
Good morning. Well, I'm disappointed.
Why?
Well, because today was the big house parade, and it's been postponed until next Monday.
So, wait, the house, what is this?
It's
the
a house parade. I've never seen multiple full-size houses all being moved at the same time that are going to be taken from York to Bradshaw.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
And there's a lot of them. They're all already loaded. They're already on trailers.
In the big oversized trucks and hogging half the highway,
I know.
right? Yeah,
this is such a cool project because these houses were purchased by York General years ago, and the properties were held for future expansion of the hospital. And as they have in the past, they were going to be demolished.
Right.
However, a really smart developer thought, what a waste, because we have such a housing shortage. He purchased the houses from York General, and then they're going to move them over to Bradshaw, where I heard there is a waiting list for people to buy them when they get there. And Bradshaw's thrilled because this is going to add a whole new housing area to their village. So yesterday the city blocked off 4-H Drive. That's a little stretch from Lincoln Avenue to the 4-H building.
Right.
And that's where they were going to stage them all and then just do them all in one. I was
moving. How many were there? How many about?
I think there's 7.
7? Yeah.
That's a lot.
And then if they're all convoying down the highway.
You know how people get so excited when you see one?
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the greatest moving of a building ever? It's when they moved the Thayer Church to Wessels years ago. Coldest.
Is that the big white one?
Yes.
The big white building?
Oh, yes. That beautiful.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So the Thayer congregation donated it to Wessels and paid for the move. It was the coldest dang day. I mean, I had
Was it in winter or?
It was brutal, and we waited, meaning we sat down by the interstate because we wanted to do video of a church going over the interstate while traffic went underneath, because you're never going to see this ever again.
No.
Well, it takes a long time. They're not fast moving.
No.
It was worth the wait. I'll never in my life will I ever see anything like it again. But it was scary too, because this thing's wide and he's going over that overpass, and then they get it on the overpass and they stop. Well, they were just making sure that they had clearance on the side guardrails. But then I thought, well, what if it got stuck? What if it fell off?
Right.
Of course, they know what they're doing.
You would think, yes, they do.
And there was the question of what if people wreck on the interstate? Because traffic got all wonky.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what am I looking at?
You're
cruising down, the interstate in Nebraska, bored out of your mind, probably. And then all of a sudden, is that a church? Right there, it was, and you could see people were staring and slamming on their brakes, thinking, what on earth am I looking at? It was spectacular.
Yeah.
So nothing's ever going to top that.
Well, my question is, it must have been good enough to get under the streetlights, right? Height-wise, you would think.
Oh, you have to move. You have to move everything.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Holy cow.
So you have a lot of people involved. So you have all NPPD, perennial. This is gonna back to the house. So everybody including with the houses too. They're gonna have to take lines down. That's why, and they pay a good amount for the service to be done. And then law enforcement, like the police and public works, they'll help in town. And then when they get out they're going to take Highway 34 all the way to Bradshaw. And so I'm sure they're going to encounter lines going over at certain points. They'll take those down and get ready. And then the sheriff's department is going to have to help tell people, hey, you can't come down this stretch right now because we're going to be, and the house is going to take up the house, and there's going to be a lot of them. So I can't wait.
I
was like, I know. I'm like, oh, today's the house parade. Yay. And then about 5 seconds later, I saw a notice that, it's been canceled until Monday. So.
Next Monday. So,
next Monday, if the weather allows, and you come on down. Parker, I know you're probably going to be on the air.
I probably will. Yeah.
But like I said, it moves slow.
We could do a live broadcast from a street corner right there.
Or we could just post up out at the airport, wait for him to come.
Yeah.
I think I might do that anyway.
Would be
I
fun.
might do that. Okay.
Well, good stuff there. Look forward to that next Monday.
Yeah.
Melanie in with us here. Melanie, let's talk about some other things going on here in the week that was. I want to start with the retail consumer survey that surveyed about 1,600 people here in York County, and they talked about some things that they want to see here.
They did, and this was conducted by an outside company that was contracted by the city to do this. It also is a good tool when talking to companies about moving here, and they've focused on not mom and pop's homegrown businesses. This focused on like regular, what I want to call it, regular chain businesses that you see. I know you brought up an interesting thing about the number of the people that took the survey regarding.
A lot of them were high school.
They
students.
were, and so this was
college age students.
Yeah, and this was conducted while classes were still in session, and they were asked to participate. Because they are consumers, and a lot of this focused, well, it was all on retail, obviously, like you said. A lot of it focused on restaurants and also what kind of stores do you like to visit, that type of thing. They are consumers, and also they are our future. Hopefully, a lot of them will stay and live here and do business, and also. They will be the ones that will help fill these jobs if these businesses would come in. Yep. So we found some interesting things. So they were asked what type of retail they would like to see more of in York, the city of York. 88% said a sit-down restaurant. Right. They would like to see more of those.
They're great ones here. I mean, chances are is a sponsor of our client of ours, and they're great, but
yeah,
so
we do. Right? But I thought that was interesting that high of a percentage said that. 28% said they'd like to see more fast food. Well,
there's a lot.
We're kind of a fast food
there's a good
capital.
Amount here. What else do we need?
They have a list. They have a list. Would you like to hear the list?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so they said, what would you like to see for restaurant chains? They were given some options to pick from, and then they could also write in. Guess what the biggest one was that everybody wanted?
I would think like probably Chick-fil-A.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
you're really good.
Is that it? Okay, yeah.
Chick-fil-A was number one. That was the most mentioned, and then the second place one was Panda Express.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and then they also mentioned those were the two biggies. And then some of the other ones,
Chipotle has to be up there too.
It was, yeah. And then Firehouse Subs, Buffalo Wild Wings, Olive Garden, Long John Silver's. That one came in third. That one is always mentioned because you see a lot of really old Long John Silver's around, and we all love Long John Silver's, but that one always pops up. Over all the years, every time I'd get like a question of the week, it was always like, why can't we? Why can't we have Long John Silver's? Well, you need to have someone come here with a project. That's right. It's not like we're going to say, hey, this year, let's just do this. Well, we, the city, aren't doing it. Yeah. It's someone else. Yeah. So anyway, they also mentioned Sonic. We used to have one.
That's right.
So that one. Pizza Ranch. I've never had Pizza Ranch before.
I've been there. It's okay. There's others I'd like to see. I know there used to be
one. There was one in Albion. I don't know if it's still there. I don't think I ever had that one. I've never had it. Let's see, Texas Roadhouse and Raising Cane's.
Yeah, Raising Cane's.
Those were the other ones that they mentioned. So then back to what other types of retail would they like to see? 54% said they'd like to see more clothing stores, which I think right now. We have a pretty healthy amount.
We do.
We have a pretty good saturation downtown of both
some new
retail.
Ones popping up too, a reopening of one.
Yeah, right? And then we also have the second hand. Second hand clothing that's like really nice offerings there. So anyway, then 41% said they'd like to see sporting goods. 31% said they'd like to see home goods and furniture. And then 20% said grocery stores. And there again, we have 3 grocery opportunities in a town this size. I think is pretty healthy. The other thing that and then when they were asked what other types of businesses, chains, not restaurants, would they like to see, what's the number one, do you think? Of just something, clothes, home goods, that type of thing.
Gosh, I'm drawing a blank. What?
Target and Menards.
Target, yeah, okay. Yeah,
I don't...
Because I was thinking there's a Walmart here. There's what else do people go? Yeah, right.
Target and Menards. Those were the big ones. They'd also like to see a TJ Maxx. That would be fun. Dick's Sporting Goods. Hobby Lobby. That would probably do quite well here. Kohl's, Home Depot, and Trader Joe's. I don't know that I shouldn't say this because it sounds negative, but I don't know that our market would be big enough for some of these big box ones, but
Dick's Sporting Goods are in large cities, right? All that stuff. Some of them aren't feasible, but what do you know about how the county might use this information and move forward?
This will be for the city.
Or city, yes.
The city.
Right. Yep.
It's going to be like a recruiting tool, is how I understand it, because it's in part with the County Development Corporation. It'll be a recruiting tool where they can show these companies, hey, our people are really interested in your type of business or your specific company. I think it's more on the end of telling people in the outside, this is what we would like, and we think you could do business here in that area. And they also were asked too, where else do you shop besides here in York? Well, 93% said that they also shop in Lincoln. Right. And 69% said Grand Island. I thought that would be higher since I always seem to be heading west if I have to leave town for something.
Right.
And then 19% said Omaha. They were also offered Kearney, Hastings, and Columbus, and hardly anybody said they go there to shop.
No, those aren't the hubs, right? Yeah, you're going down the interstate one way or the other.
And what's interesting too is that every year the city gets to see their retail poll, which is like the market area of where people travel to York to come here to shop, and it's a really big area. The last one said that people were coming as far south as Hebron, as far north as almost to Columbus, and then of course everybody between here and the obvious Lincoln and Grand Island. So anyway, it was just kind of an interesting little look into what people are interested in.
And we'll see what comes about with all of that stuff. And good job to everybody who participated. And like we said at the start, it's good that you're getting, or that they had. We kind of said this; they were coerced to do this survey. The high schoolers and
they
the
said,
colleges.
Here's a survey, fill it out.
You're just in your class getting ready for a big, history exam or something.
And it wasn't the hardest test in the world. Like, it wasn't complicated. You just had to say what you wanted. So.
Well, something else going on here in the city as well. The city council talking about the downtown revitalization projects. The final 3 projects in the 4th round have been approved by the city council, and this is for improvements for storefronts, right? And properties.
And it's very impressive that York has had 4 rounds.
Yeah.
This money is grant money funneled through SEND from the state down to towns that have been approved for the project. They only give them to towns that they know are going to use them and have used them successfully before. So to get the first round at all was a feat, but to continue to keep getting this, now they're into the 4th round.
Right.
I mean, when they completed 2 rounds, I thought, well, that's the end of it. Well, here we are at the end of 4. So that means almost over $3 million of outside money has come in to help assist with all these facade projects, and the owners of the buildings, they do have skin in the game. They have to also participate in the cost of what they're doing to improve their buildings. It's also to help preserve the historic nature of these buildings. I think you and I had talked about this earlier, about how these beautiful old buildings somewhere along the weird 70s, people actually built like walls around the beautiful outsides of those, covering up the brickwork and the etchings and the... I don't know. Everybody kind of
here in York,
sorry
right?
for everybody in the 70s, but y'all went a little nuts and you did weird things. Yeah. And then now we're pulling down all this stuff from the 70s and we're like, oh my God, look at these beautiful buildings. And people have done great work, and the downtown looks wonderful.
Yeah, it is. And so some of these businesses, like the York Dance Center, am I right here? And then Colburn Consulting, and then let's see, also the First National Company, Heritage Realty, as well. They're going to all get these benefits as part of this fourth round.
Facelifts. I don't know if the chamber is going to go after a fifth round, but boy, I think by now we're almost. I think almost everything's been done in some shape or form. So very exciting, very cool, good to look at.
Good stuff there with the city of York here. And anything else to add about what's going on here this week or last week?
Okay, so this weekend, don't forget. Run for love.
That's right. Run, walk, love, for love.
Run for love. Sorry.
FURLUV.
Run for love. Yes, it's the 10th annual Run for Love for York Adopt a Pet. And it starts on Saturday at, if you're just going to do the 1 mile, you have to be there at 8. Yep. 8:30 is the 5K. And if you've already registered, you've got a T-shirt that they're going to give you so everybody can run and look alike. If you registered after or you're going to register that morning, no guarantee on the T-shirt, but all the money goes to take care of the cats and dogs. Yep. So it's a fun thing.
Yeah, good stuff. And we had Susan in with us from the York Adopt a Pet this morning, and about 30 people I think have signed up for both the race, the walk and the run.
That's good.
So they said the most people they've ever had for the run this year, which is nice. You like to see that because then people are maybe getting more active and getting into
nice.
it. So,
and you can bring your dog if it's on a leash.
Dog or cat too. You can bring your cats as well.
Are you really going to walk a cat?
That's true.
You're not
they
going to
said
run.
Somebody has brought cats before.
They have on leashes, really?
I'm not sure if it was on a leash. It probably should be, but
and I think you can buy dog treats there and some other things too, right?
Yep.
So it'll be a fun thing. It's early in the morning, so even if it gets to be 1,000 degrees, it'll be okay.
It'll be fun. Yep. Anything else to add too about you have a big program coming up Thursday at the Kilgore Memorial Library with the Journalism Forum?
Yes, at 12:30. We'll be there through 2, maybe 2:30. We'll just see how when people want to just stop in. If you have ideas for stories, things that you like to see covered, or just want to know more about what I'm doing or the Flatwater Free Press, just stop on in. We'll have some snacks and talk about the future and current state of journalism.
And I'm sure people would love their input as well, or love to give you their input as well.
I'm all ears. I'm all ears. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. It's okay. It'll be great.
Fantastic. Well, Melanie, thanks so much.
Hey, thank you.
We'll talk to you next week.